Welcome to the Dice Gods. My name is Hydra, and today I am joined by, if there is such a thing, Infinity Royalty. If you have been around the community at all, if you've seen anything to do with Infinity, this face will be very familiar to you. And I am very pleased to welcome to the channel Carlos. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for joining. It's so pretty. So if you could just flick through to the index, just hold it right up to this, that'd be fantastic. So have those just got in with you then, or are they?
These are early copies. I can see that it has 288 pages.
Of pure awesomeness. And is that the rule book or is that a lore book?
This book is completely full of lore, and it has a painting guide and a few missions at the end.
Ooh.
But most of the content is lore, is fluff,
It's the story so far.
It's storytelling because it's setting the human sphere, the not so human sphere.
No.
In the timeline of Infinity right now, so M5, the not so human sphere. That's a chapter because there are many aliens now, and they're kind of becoming part of the society, or in a certain way. Yeah.
Thanks to this book over here, thanks to End Song and everything that happened in there.
Yeah, as you can tell, End Song, especially when you read this one, you notice that End Song was planting many seeds for what M5 is really.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. That really showed. And so, yeah. Okay, before we dive into that one, I want to start with the question we ask everybody, which is for those poor souls who are new to Corvus Belli, or more specifically new to Infinity. In 30 seconds, can you tell us what Infinity is and why people should play it?
Okay, the usual definition: Infinity is a sci-fi skirmish war game that happens 200 years into the future, and is very influenced by manga aesthetics. In a certain way, imagine a cool cyberpunk city in the rain, raining and neon glow everywhere, and two giant robots surrounded by hackers and tactical units, and invisible ninjas are fighting to achieve a certain tactical objective, because it's like a secret mission. Okay, it's never open war. It's always undercover objectives, missions, and super cyber cool units trying to take them. That's the scene. That's the cinematic. Okay, imagine a super cool robot, a cyber ninja, a military guy, a hacker, and everything is pretty much covered in super sci-fi glow. There are attractive girls also in this kind of vision. There are attractive, sexy girls around because we allow them to exist in this world. Okay, for some reason, other worlds don't allow that to happen or to even exist. In Infinity happens. Okay,
we have women.
Yeah. All kinds of sizes, okay, of kind of colors and identities. But yeah, many of them can be very attractive, and we are not afraid of
that. In my experience, how attractive they are depends on which side of the gun. If they're pointing it at you, slightly less attractive in certain circumstances. Definitely my experience, yeah. It has to be said, Infinity is one of the few games where you can use the word cool repeatedly in the description and then it fulfills it. It's like, yeah, very few systems where that's true. Okay. So, Infinity, we've had N4, 4th edition. We're about to go to N5, the 5th edition.
Yes.
Which is crazy. I remember N2. That was, a lifetime ago. But here we are, N5. And how long has N5 been planned for around this time? Is it always been now, or?
Well, to me, it makes all the sense in the world that N5 had to be in 2025, because N4 was in 2020. Everything works mathematically. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But regarding the plan, if you take a look at End Song, it's obviously that End Song was like the previous episode to M5. Okay, it was written that way. And apart from that, there were many other tectonical plates moving around. We knew that the project of the animated series was going to happen. We knew that the video game of Aristeia is also happening. We knew that other, I won't say that branches, but many other projects were happening, and we kind of look at the summer 2024 like the momentum for really being able to orchestrate this thing, because just announcing the edition makes it it's big news. Announcing the animated series is big news. Many things that were going in the same direction, and also Warcraft was being delivered finally after like 2 years of promotion. You know, so we thought that it was the moment for shifting in a certain way. Like, okay, and now that Warcraft is done, we are going to put the spotlight on Infinity with everything, so people can see the Infinity is making a huge comeback, because we really need to make a huge comeback. And apart from that, there are many, we usually Corvus Belli, when was thinking about new edition, was thinking just about rules. Yeah. Rules. This rule, that rule, because it was very difficult to make this game back in the day. And now, really, it's not that much about rules. It's much about profiles, unique profiles, you know.
Oh, yes.
People is much more into that. The rules are not giving such a headache or such many problems as they used to be, because the game is very polished. But, and inside the company, back in the day, everybody was talking about rules. Now we just left that to the developers, because they know what they're doing and they're more involved than anyone else in tournaments, because tournaments are another rabbit hole, you know.
That they are.
But the company has seen incredible results on many other areas of delivering the product to the people. You know, Code One was a huge success. Okay, Code One was the label that helped distributors and stores to enter Infinity. So, and it wasn't the rules, you know, it was the way of delivering the product to the market, and make it easy and simple to many people to approach Infinity. So it was also about plastics, about making new plastic miniatures, new solutions for production. So, you know, it's a new edition coming. There's the momentum to announce it. There's the momentum to deliver. But what can we deliver with M5? And there was a meeting where everybody was talking about different things, not just rules. So that shows a huge evolution of the company. Like, we should change the packaging. We should change the way we deliver armies. We should change the way we label armies. We should really reconsider and rethink the product itself. Like, how do we have more than 40 armies? How have we reached this? How is this rule that everything goes to the generic faction and then is sectorial? Because with the latest releases, we are jumping off that rule. We have constantly to add certain exceptions to the rule. So the company was moving in a certain direction, and because we are, you know, more experienced now, we have to reconsider certain decisions from the past, because the company has gone through a very long way.
Yeah.
So when you have Pan-Oceania, and Pan-Oceania has like 6 sectorial armies, and those 6 sectorial armies have like at least 25 units in it, and all those units can be used in generic Pano. How can not someone find a way of exploiting such amount of unit profiles to deliver something unseen, you know, and less control on the tournaments and stuff like that, you know? So makes you think like, where are we going? Like, we cannot keep on expanding the factions like this, because it makes no sense. So one of the decisions for M5 is like, okay, generic factions need a list. Okay, generic vanilla Pano, vanilla Yuqing, vanilla Combined Army, everybody needs a list of the units that can be used in generic vanilla faction. No longer everything goes into there.
Wow.
Because
that's a big change.
Well, but it's logical. I mean,
don't get me wrong. I completely agree. But the move from everything, the generic, as it's now being called, list, being all of the stuff, to being effectively almost a type of sectorial, if it has limited profiles available to it, or limited units available to it. That's a big change.
Well, it's going to be big, yeah. Bigger than you think. Yeah. At the same time, it was like, okay, I'm going to, let's say that I want to play a generic Pano today, M4, today.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to use, because I'm a very smart guy, and I want to use Guarda d'Assalto from Acontecimiento, which is a lovely unit, excellent unit. Okay, I'm playing with it. Nobody's expecting it, because everybody forgot about that guy that has Eclipse grenades being shot by an Auxbot. Yep. Excellent choice. I used 2 of them. Okay, let's go to the online store and try to find 2 Guarda d'Assalto blisters on the market out there. Oh my god, they're not available. Shame on you, Corvus Belli. You allow me to play with this, but we're a proxy-friendly company. So we will find ourselves in that situation more often and more often and more often if we allow everybody to play everything, and everything is like a huge card game where all editions and all cards are still available and tournament ready.
So this edition is a little bit about sort of rationalizing the armies as well and getting rid of some of the older things, maybe?
The edition goes in one direction regarding rules and the healthy tournament play, but also on those change of decisions, it was not only guys making decisions with rules, it was also the SKU bloat of Corvus Belli, the availability of miniatures, the plans for the future. Like, okay, we will discontinue this army because we're thinking about that, what that will happen in the future. So it was a moment for putting our room in order, organize ourselves correctly, because the game, the stock, the warehouse, the distribution, the new materials, everything is going to jump in and become a thing. Some miniatures need to be done again, because we cannot keep selling metal Magariba guards, because metal is expensive and the Magariba guard is massive. So we have to make a new one, okay? And the new one is going to be plastic, okay? Which plastic? Thermoplastic or plastic resin? Whatever, But big decisions that now if we're making plastic resin, we have to plan ahead with plenty of time. Is that going to change the profile? So we're talking about tons of stuff, and for making those decisions, there has to be like a matrix, like a structure, like a guide. And Gutierrez Lusquiños himself is the mastermind behind it. But the people in the company is the same people since the beginning. This hasn't become a corporation where every 2 years the whole roster of people changes because here comes the new team or someone, or a new CEO comes to. No, it's the same people.
Yeah.
People who is so aware of the product, of the nuances, of the unit profiles, the tournament games, and the feedback of the forums and community players, that nobody, we at some point realized nobody is going to come from the outside of this circle to improve things. We just can improve our stuff because we know it like no one else,
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's just a lot.
It's more than rules, because we want to change the triangulated fire rule. Yeah.
I get it. I mean, the thing is, because Infinity is 15. Is it 15 years old now? Or is it older?
It was launched in 2005. So yeah.
2005. So nearly 20 years. It's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot. That's a long time. And adding, you guys have pretty much, bar a few units here and there, just added new stuff in. Like we lost the Invincibles, the original Yuching Invincibles, with the jump from N2 to N3. But for the most part, it's been new things into the mix constantly. New armies, new profiles, new units. And there's got to come a point, for the sake of everyone's sanity, I guess, where you have to rationalize that and tidy that up.
And not just new units. Well, I say this constantly because I was there at the beginning, but the units from the first Infinity book, compared with the units from the first Human Sphere, the units from Human Sphere were obviously much more conscious of the game that was being played. And then Campaign Paradiso happened, and that took shape to the current Infinity tournament system.
Mm-hmm.
So the units that were created were more efficient constantly.
Yeah.
And then in the most recent years, we reached the tactical window, 15 unit limit, and then changes the whole mathematics of the game, really.
Yes.
Because before that limited insertion, just 10 troops, that was benefiting the big factions, Combined Army Aleph, over other factions.
Yeah.
So now with 15 unit limit troops, there's kind of a standard of army list with a big 10 guy group and a secondary 5 guy group.
Yeah.
And also has to do with the missions of the that are being played on tournaments. And that layer is quite above all the other layers of the rules,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So Infinity is dense and is delicate because of the pure nature of the game. A game that allows everybody to do whatever they want as long as they have orders. That allows a lot of freedom. And that is a house of cards. If you suddenly have certain broken combination of units that they can use like 11, 12 orders on their shenanigans, they will begin to be there on the tournaments, demolishing everybody, and people will complain about it.
Well, it stops being fun. That's the problem. It stops being enjoyable if there is something that you can't respond to and you can't deal with, and it's just constantly steamrolling everyone.
Yeah.
It's not fun for anyone at the end of the day. But no, I remember that change when the 15 order, the 15 trooper limit came in. As a Mirror Vision player who was quite happily running around with 25 troopers, I was suddenly very lost as to what to do with the other 10.
Oh, and we saw tournaments, serious tournaments with very competitive players, and turn one lasted like 90 minutes. Because people were arriving with 22, 23 orders and playing them. Nobody reached the third turn.
Yeah, no, you had to be, if you were going to run a list of that size, you had to be good at what you were doing. Otherwise, the 2-hour game window for a tournament was just not a thing.
Yeah, but back in the day with first edition, so I can spend as many orders as orders I bring to the table. Yes, and what about if I bring like 20 Gakis and Pretas that just cost 5 points? Back in the day, they say, oh, if someone is willing to buy 20 of our miniatures of the same miniature, we're fine with it. Because we were far away from reaching that point. At some moment, people were reaching that point, like spamming orders like crazy. And you have to create your patches for that.
No, absolutely. It was good that you did. I mean, like I say, that with that Mirror Vision list, I used to run 20 HMG Metro. 5 HMG Metros in a Fireteam because it was less than 100 points and just spit fire everywhere. It was a lot of fun. But rationalizing it with that limit helped. It sped the game up. It sped a lot of tournaments up, and it was a good move. So, have to say. Okay, so what you're basically saying is, you've said repeatedly with some of the interviews that I've seen already that you are polishing this diamond. It seems like the focus is on quality of life, on making the game a better, more enjoyable experience and more sane.
I never said we are polishing the diamond. I say that the community and the tournaments and the people really do polish the diamond.
Yeah.
Because we pull out the game out there, and it's the tournament feedback that comes back to us that really, makes us keep on making decisions, But there are two lines that I say constantly because I truly believe in them. Nobody is smarter, nobody is a genius smarter than 10,000 people playing this game competitively. Nobody can outsmart them, So if the diamond is being polished, if Infinity is what it is today, it's because it's a constant back and forth from the developers and what they experience in the community. The community likes or don't likes or exploits in a certain way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one of the approaches to this edition, because at some point there were crazy ideas on the table, like let's change the whole game for making very, very beginner friendly, simplify everything. But then said, no, we reached an incredible standard of sci-fi skirmish game, full of variables. Okay, I mean, we think that our competitive players can jump into many other popular games out there and destroy them because they come from Infinity and they have been used to handle more army list building and more tactical options on the table than any other game out there, because Infinity is huge.
It's true. It's one thing that I do say to new players when I bring them in is there's a possibility this will ruin you for other systems. You're going to teach you Infinity, and then you're going to go and play something else, and you're like, yeah, but it's not Infinity, is it? It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
It does have that effect, which is truly phenomenal. But okay. We've seen quite a few of the changes that are coming up with the changes to saves, saving throws. Thank you so much. Thank you. You can teach the order spending process in about 2 or 3 minutes, and then when you've done that and you've done face-to-face rolls, you sit down with a newbie and you say, right, forget all of that, because here is how armor saves work at N4. And they go, no, I don't understand. It's the other way. So the fact that it's
possibility of survivals and beta instead of wounds, those are semantics. Those are nothing.
Yeah,
really.
Their quality of life. It makes it easier for players to understand, and it keeps it consistent.
Yeah, I do agree that possibility of survival makes sense with the rest of the roles. Okay, fine. Pass. I mean, it's not a big thing. We can make it a big thing. It's not that. It's semantics. Believe me, when people see gets the moment of playing M5 and behold other rules changes, yeah, those will be big.
So what can you talk about those ones you're thinking of? What kind of big rules changes?
Fireteams are going to change, and Fireteams is a hell of an important rule.
Yep.
Because guided missile, for example, I'm talking about another rule, is just a tiny bit that just a tiny unit does. But if you change Fireteams, the whole game changes. Fireteams are going to change. So we're going to have a cleaner, sharper, less patchy Fireteams rule. But it's going to cut power of the Fireteams because we consider them too powerful, and people will be dramatically shouting about that, because also the power balance of the factions, I would say that from playing M4 to M5, they'll change. If someone is very proud of their M4 tournament winning list, maybe they will have to reconsider the whole thing when they play M5. Yes.
Corvus Belli is going to ruin everything.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
And laugh while they're doing it. This is the great thing.
Yeah. Less power, more game. Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean that the Fireteam rules are actually going to be in the N5 rulebook rather than an annex?
No, yes, it's going to be.
Phenomenal. Can you give any kind of indication as to how the Fireteams are changing? Other than they are?
Well, the bonus are changing.
Okay.
The composition, the purity composition becomes more important. Okay, like when I say this, let's say that you have a Fireteam with one Fusilier, one Mercenary, one Special Character, a Remote, a crazy impetuous guy, and those are a Fireteam altogether. No bonuses for them. You have a Fireteam with the 5 guys being Fusiliers or being, from the same infantry unit.
Yeah.
All the bonuses then for you. It's going to be the purity of the Fireteam that determines the bonuses.
Which makes sense. Makes a lot more sense. So, assumedly, that mixed Fireteam will still activate under a single order.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
That's the only buff that it gets.
When your Fireteam is a party of eccentric people and one regular soldier in the middle, the only benefit is that they will all activate and move when being spent an order on them, because they are still a Fireteam.
Okay.
But when your Fireteam is composed of everybody from the same unit, or is stated that that guy can be counted as a Fusilier, for example, therefore the Fireteam has that purity that allows them to have all the bonuses. Is sharper, less patchy version of the rule, because we were very happy with the Fireteam rules since Human Sphere came out, which was the rule that came with that. But at a certain point, having an orc with Feuerbach and 4 just cheap dupers behind, so the orc can have all the bonuses. Seems like that was just cheating, in a certain way, exploiting the rule to the maximum. And then everybody was making Fireteams with plenty of super guys. And then the original intention of the rule that was like, okay, all the cheap infantry that is just providing orders get together and become very, very useful. The original idea was there, and the original idea is coming back to clean, to purify the Fireteams. Okay.
Which is good. I mean, there was a period where you could run Chefskin and 4 Nox and have BS 21 in good range, which was great. It was great, but having run it, having played it, it wasn't a great experience for anyone involved, because it's like, how badly am I going to hit you? That was the only question, which it wasn't so good. But does that mean that I'm going to ask, do the bonuses for the pure fire team then remain the same, or are literally all of the bonuses getting redone?
All the bonuses are getting redone and assigned to different levels of purity, 5 levels of purity. Okay.
Wow.
And in my opinion, Fireteam Duo and Fireteam Harris becomes better. Fireteam Core becomes powered down. And also, most of the generic vanilla factions get access to Fireteam Duo and sometimes Fireteam Harris.
Right. I see. So we're going to lose certain options out of generic, because you're not going to be able to take those troops anymore, but we offset that with presence of some fire teams within the generic lists.
Yeah, it's not the same logics approach, but it's there. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah. And people will notice. People will really realize what they can do with generic vanilla factions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of, because I feel like we saw some of that lean towards having different types of mixed fire team with what happened with the Morats when they recently came out, because you had all these different names.
Yeah, but the original intention with the Morats was to make them all have the purity, whatever Morat unit you put there. But as at the end, the testing and the developers just decide to change it a little bit, because the Yao got something that we don't like and we don't want to happen is that make a super core fireteam that is almost impossible to beat. Super core fireteam with multi-spectral visor level 2, long range weapons, and all the abilities and all the add-ons that the fireteam can have seem too powerful. Okay, so the developers decide to cut power.
Yeah, it makes sense. I can see that even now there are still some combinations that are.
Yeah, and we are keeping most of the armies, most of the sectorials, but this change will make people have to reconsider the compositions of their army lists and their usual blocky fireteams that were totally impossible to defeat. Now they will have to reconsider them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna latch on to what you just said. Keeping most of the sectorials?
Yeah.
So not all of the sectorials?
At the end, the purge is not that dramatic, in my opinion. When I finally was making the graphics, I'm saying, okay.
Am I allowed to ask how many or who? Can you give any hints on that?
Let's move on.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm saving the bits for the dramatic one. I really want this to be. I really want this news to have its own momentum. Really.
No, I totally understand. And there's the thing is, when it's like when I went out to the community and said, "What questions have you got?" If I'm talking to
everybody's asking. Is this only way?
Everything now, you know.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a process. There's got to be a process of releasing stuff, and yeah, that's cool. I totally understand.
There's a moment in during October. We'll communicate the dates when the PDF file and the army will update, and we'll also communicate properly which armies are making it to M5 and which armies are not making it to M5. But it's not that dramatic.
Okay. And will that include which armies are going to be released? Because I understand that not everything's being released on army on day one. There's going to be a staggered release of them.
That's another question that many people have. Are all the profiles going to be reconsidered, recalculated? There are many different ways of doing this. Some profiles will be rewritten because semantics, because wounds now change to beta. All the weapons are going to be rewritten because now damage is possibility of survival. But they also came out with a way of written the weapon chart in a way that you don't have to no longer look back at the ammunition chart to see what is going on. There will be, salvation number and salvation. There will be plenty of information in the weapons chart, so you don't have to check out what the ammunition makes, because it tells you which attribute are you using, how are you using it, and how many rolls do you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, but that is just combi rifle, damage 13. No, now is possibility of survival 7. Normal ammunition, 1 roll per damage. That is just translating from M4 to M5.
Yeah.
And that is going to happen with many unit profiles. Other profiles are being reconsidered. I'm looking at this guy, but we're going to make new miniatures of these guys, and they are no longer going to use this weapon because they're making them like that. Then are rules that change, and that applies to the rule on the profile. Therefore, this guy has no longer this rule because this rule is no longer like that. It's no longer like that. So we're going to put another rule here. Then there are new rules that are cool, and we're putting them. And sometimes a unit that is not being deployed on the tournament so much is getting that new rule, so making it interesting again. So, there are unit profiles that are not being just translated, and other are really being reconsidered, and other units are new, like the Kestrel units or the Shindenbutai units, or the future coming combined army units or Yuchin units. Everybody's getting new toys in a certain way.
Of course. But that sounds with the ammunition that you're continuing the process that started with M4, where rules that were previously nested in have become unnested. And I think, like we saw that with the Hatamoto, I think it had a no cover keyword, which is new.
Well, it's new, but it's pretty self-explanatory. No cover, doesn't get the benefits from -3 to enemy's BS value, and the +3 to the figure that is on partial cover. That guy has no cover, so doesn't have to care about getting next to the building to be in partial cover, because it's not getting the benefits, because the same guy is carrying nanoscreen. And nanoscreen is written in a way that is not saying that it's partial cover, it's just has the modifiers and the benefits from the nanoscreen.
But that unnesting of things makes the game more approachable, because you have to remember less things are nested in.
Yeah, unnesting, and at the same time written in a way that people do not try to stack modifiers. Like, if I get cover and I have a nanoscreen, I have +6 to possibility of survival, and the other guy is going to suffer a -6 because I have cover and a nanoscreen. No, it's written in a certain way to avoid people trying to stack it.
Yeah, no, I can understand that one. It speeds the game up because you have to spend less time thinking, and it leaves you less at the mercy of your opponent telling you what something does. If you can see the courtesy list and it's got no cover written on it, you don't have to.
Yeah, no cover, which is not the same as limited cover. That will be another label. That is like you get the +3 to your possibility of survival, but you don't get the -3 to the enemy's BS. So certain people are limited cover.
That sounds like a tag thing to me. That sounds like a tag thing, definitely. Okay. And what of the changes that are coming up, what would be your personal favourite, if you have one, of the ones that you know?
As we speak right now, I'm really... When I first read the Fireteams changes, I was like, oh my god. The more I think about it, because at the beginning, people will be outraged when the people is going to, especially the super people, super caring about the rules, when they saw it, they're going to blow their minds. Then you think about it, because the same day, I read the rule in the morning, and the evening I was driving back home, and then,
Yeah.
many different angles. Like this is benefiting genetics. So it's like that.
The thing is, we're wargamers. We hate change, and we hate things staying the same. Those are the two worst things in the universe. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you left the fire teams the way they were, well, they're broken as it is, and it's unfair, and there's too many, and blah 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 blah. But if you change it, well, that's wrong too. It's I don't envy you guys that position. It has to be said. It's,
We are frustration dealers.
no comment. But okay, so by the sound of things, one thing that like you've talked about a lot. You've talked about a lot of the competitive players and the tournament scene, but not all Infinity players are competitive. Not everyone goes to tournaments.
Yeah, not everyone goes that deep. Yeah.
No. But it sounds like with these changes that are coming in, with the unnesting of rules and things like that, this is going to benefit casual players a little bit because you don't have to remember as much.
Yeah. There is a little benefit that you don't have to go back to the rule set in order to see how many rolls you have to make because of that impact. I think that the way they have written down the weapon chart now is better, because you don't have to go anywhere else. You know how many rolls you have to make because of the impact. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like in M4. M4 didn't bring any radical changes, but the whole parenthesis thing with the modifiers in it, instead of hyperdynamics, dodge +3, stuff like that allow people to not have to go to the document, to the file, to the table, to the tablet.
No, absolutely.
To look at the rules.
It makes it easier. It makes it easier for new players. It speeds the whole thing up. And
it makes easier for players who want to play, but into seducing new players, into attracting new players, you really need stat cards. Into attracting a new generation of players, you really need dice with symbols, pre-assembled and pre-painted figures, stuff like that, And Infinity cannot abandon its origins. Okay, it's still D20 with numbers and mathematics applied to it. Okay, so yeah, because at the beginning we really consider dice with symbols and stat cards and like a more tabletop approach. We just crazy ideas in a room where all ideas were valid, but at the same time you think no, what we have is more valuable than any trend that the market has. So M5 is going to continue the path. And if our players are 30, 40 years old, so be it,
Indeed. No comment on that one. But no, I mean, I think the D20 system works. It always has done. And it's something that, when people first come across it and they're used to D6s, it's a little bit intimidating, but it's not that difficult. It's 5%. Every face is a 5% difference. It's nice and easy. So, I think if that changed, it would be too big. Too much. I'm glad that's staying.
Well, there are new changes also, because you're talking about the 20s. Something that is going to happen to certain levels of martial arts is that you have a +1 burst to your attack. If you have martial arts level there, but +1 burst, but no, because you roll 2 dice. Okay, you have 1 dice because it's your attack. Okay, now you will roll 2 dice and then choose one. The other one is discard. So suddenly that is not burst 2. That will not translate in the better outcome like 2 impacts. It's still 1 impact, but you choose the better one. So that's something that is coming with M5.
That's good with the changes to the way that martial arts now adds crits to the bottom of the dice roll.
Yeah, but apart from that,
genius. So that means that if you do roll a low one, you can be like, I'm going to bring that in over the high one to hit the crit.
Yeah, and you're not adding to the roll. It's just the result that comes on the roll. You're not adding anything. So yeah. But I mean, keep going back to the Fireteam rule. When I made the graphics for the last update of the Fireteam rule, that was convoluted. It was plenty of different modifiers and bonus adding there, depending on the composition. Now it's going to be less patchy. Really.
That would be good. I mean, the existing system is fine, but the fact you have 2 tables based on whether it's pure or whether it's a mixed fire team is kind of, again, going back to new players, is a little bit. So but no, this one thing, if it's much cleaner, that's going to help. That's good. I'm still letting it settle in the fact that we're going to get some power taken away from Fireteams.
Mhm.
I'm going to need to sleep on that one.
Not all the fire teams. Remember, Duo getting better, Harris getting better, Core. And I remember something like that happening in the past. I remember when we balance a little bit the multi-spectra visors, making the level 1 better, level 2 stays the same, and level 3 down. And that really helped the game. So it's those kind of decisions.
No, it's good. I think the risk is if everything is always better and better and better and better and better, then things just get ridiculous. And Infinity is a violent and bloody game anyway. There's death and destruction pretty much with every order. So if we're taking the edge off of cause a little bit, much as it pains me, that's not necessarily an awful thing. Probably. So, but yes. So we've talked about the new players. We talked about this is potentially going to be easier for them. So that brings us nicely onto the world of Essentials, which is another big change because Code 1's retired.
Yeah, Code 1 as a rule set with its own tournaments and with its own army list maker and with its own, that's gone. But the idea of labeling certain products of the range as essential and for the shy customer and for the shy store or distributor, just okay, stick to this. This is the 101. That's something that worked very well, and we kind of having a new take on it. And the whole support for beginner players, that is on my back really, because I am going to make all the videos. But this time are going to be like the ones that came out for Warcraft that I also made. Short intro, short outro, like boom, 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 here we go, this rule. A little more TikTok in the editing. If we can make it very short and very concise, probably the YouTube version will be a little bit longer, but you can make like pills of rules. And if you want to put it all together in a long video, that's possible also.
Yeah.
But I'm making right now a video that is just reading the stat card. Okay. You don't need to read the stat card. Many of the people will understand what's going on with the stat card immediately, but you have to make the video. Okay.
No, you do. I think otherwise, one of the worst things that I've seen other systems who shall remain nameless do is assume knowledge. We assume you know what this means, and if
that's true.
There's so many. I've got recently. I've been talking to a whole load of board game players who are tentatively coming across to wargaming, and they're a little bit confused and a little bit lost, and it's a little bit scary. If you have that kind of, right, here's a stat card, this is what this means, they can feel comfortable coming into an environment that it can be quite challenging because there's so many different terms and ideas.
I mean, the idea is to make the most essential rules in short videos. Once the whole quick start rules little booklet is covered, making the Sandtrap battle, the whole 12-15 minute video of the whole Sandtrap battle, which is the ones that I enjoy the most.
We can tell.
Yeah. Like Operation Blackwing, Operation Crimson Stone, those are my masterpieces. Take a month to be done, but but the idea, apart from making the essentials and the basic rules, once they're done, advance, smoke combo, like impersonation, going with those rules.
Okay, so this is literally going to be, you're going to start off with, this is a D20, don't put up your nose, roll it on the table, and work your way all the way through to Fireteams and impersonation and everything.
Yeah, and always as tools, but it will never replace the Britain rule, And when you can make videos, you have to think about, it has to be a little entertaining. Come on, it cannot be a guy reading the rule and showing a still example. It has to be a little fancy. It has to have a little rhythm.
Yeah.
Because if not, nobody will digest them.
No, that's true. But I think what I've seen over the years is people that have read the rules. I've had people come that have read the rulebook twice before their first demo game, which is enthusiastic and great. But then when they start throwing dice, they don't know or they've not seen the game played, and that's a different experience. So if you're going to support these, because it's multiple boxes, isn't it, Essentials? It's going to be
Yes, because well, the most important one is the start here, which
Mhm.
was very well designed in order to be very affordable, repacking all existing miniatures in order to make can lower the price the most, but still packing terrain, still packing dice, still packing tools and the quick start rules,
Mhm.
so everybody can have the most basic Infinity little battle there. Yeah, fine,
Yeah.
okay. Then there will be like action packs following those armies. Like, do you want more Japanese miniatures? Here they are. Do you want more Pano miniatures? Here they are. But they won't be the new fancy ones. They will be all repack of classic SKUs, but still going with the essentials label over there. You know, and rules and videos and videos and videos supporting game like that, so people can easily jump in.
So like
And
you,
kind of considering the essentials is being about Pano and JSA and Yuchin and Combined Army, generic vanilla factions,
yeah,
while the other orange boxes will probably be more about the Kestrel army,
yeah,
the
sectorial type feel.
Sindemutai army.
So with if you talk about making these videos in the boxes, if you get a box with camo units and then have a camo video to go with that refers to those, or is that how that's running,
No,
or
not that related, but
not
there
that
will be a
directly?
camo video.
Yeah,
There will
okay.
be a camo video. Check out shirts for the camo video, and let's hope it's exactly your miniature that is there in the video portrayed executing surprise attack and stuff like that.
Yeah, as long as it explains the core concepts behind.
Yeah. Luckily now mimetism is one rule and surprise attack is another rule. Camouflage is another rule. Hidden deployment is another rule.
Yeah,
Because back in the day everything was like inside
camouflage.
camouflage. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and stealth was in there, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
it was
many
all
things.
compounded. It's great to break it out. It makes life so much easier. Although it does leave veterans like me somewhat confused when you're like, so that's a separate rule now. We can have camouflage, but not mimetism. I'm so confused.
But that also opens the window for many different profiles, and that's cool. In fact, we do have mimetism -3 and -6, but we can have mimetism -5, -4, -2. Why not? I know that in order to make the game have more variables, okay, and make things more different from other.
Yeah, it makes them more granular, and it enables a bigger amount of difference between different profiles and different troop types and different armies. And
Hidden deployment with mimetism -3, which didn't happen ever. Like it was just TO units that could make hidden deployment, but that can happen.
yeah,
So
it's
depending.
nice. It took some getting used to, but it's interesting when you show new players it. They kind of, yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad it does to you. I'm lost. I've been playing this game too long. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But cool. Okay. Well, I think
At the end is if we have a narrativity and a storytelling, then everything aligns better. If you just are stacking abilities there because of power play, it's not as pretty as when something makes sense to you. Because you're telling a story that this guy comes from this, that's why he's like this. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think narrative needs to be king, much as this is a competitive and a competitive game. It does need to have a narrative backbone. Otherwise, you just as well have coins and D20s. It doesn't make any difference. They need to have some characters. So.
Well, I wouldn't say it's king, but helps and makes sense, because narrativity was king back in the day, and that led to having the cutter, and the cutter in first edition of Infinity was too powerful. So then trying to get power out of the cutter was hard, and that's why Fireteams got 6 cents and all that stuff. The cutter need to be stopped. So yeah, but was back in the day. Now people say that people is not playing tags, and it's like, well,
They should come and play in the Netherlands. We play tags. It's fun.
yeah.
It's fun. Although actually, my very first game of Infinity was against a cutter, and in complete. Back when they were more widely available, I mine layered a monofilament mine directly in its only path towards me. So when my opponent revealed it from camouflage, boom, monofilament death. It was great. I enjoyed that immensely.
Very satisfying. Very satisfying.
It was. I was a new player. I had no idea what it meant, but my opponent looked very disappointed, so I took that as a good sign. But,
Back in the day, monofilament mines left the template, and whoever moved over the template was cut in half. So that was watching.
We missed that. That was good fun. That was good fun. Cool. Okay. Next, we've talked about them a little bit, but we've got books. We've got Aristair computer game. We've got the major animated series, which is Paradise Lost, on the way.
Yeah.
CB's really evolving at the moment and going multimedia, and well deserved. I mean, the universe you guys created is awesome, and we need to see more of it. We want more of it. But how does that feel to be having that stuff happening at last now? That's got to feel great.
Well, at the beginning, when I saw the first sketches of the animated episode were being made, I never thought it was serious. I never thought it was, is this happening really? At some point, it was getting, because of the previews that we were receiving, it was getting more and more like shape. And it was like, oh my God, this is happening. Is this really happening? Like, I mean, when we began to watch more and more render versions of it, and you began to recognize the characters there, like, oh, I'm not just watching some animation thing; it's our thing, you know. is
yeah, mind blowing,
above your wildest fantasies, really. Especially if the guy that is moving there is designed by you. Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely all kinds of crazy. I mean, still fingers crossed. I mean, if I ever saw the animated TV show on TV in Spain, and someone from my family or my friends watching it, you know, the kind of people that I still have to explain what I work at, you know.
Yeah.
That would be like
yeah. It's only a matter of time. It's looking gorgeous, it has to be said.
Yeah. Jay Oliva is very excited about it. And now it's like we have this kind of branch of Corvus Belli in LA, and sometimes we get emails from them, and they are doing their thing, you know. and it's like, oh my God, we have people doing stuff like.
Yeah, and when you see the list of people that are involved as well in the animation, and it's like, oh, he was on that show. He was. I know these shows.
Yeah, they're not newies, because we were approached by many newie video game companies.
Yeah.
With 3 guys with almost no experience, like, we want to make an Infinity video game. You pay and we do.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you would.
we will share a ton of emails, and this will get nowhere. Has happened before. But this, a guy who has a pedigree, like, has made so many movies. In fact, has made his own company, because in order to make the projects that they want, because the queue for his services as an animator was, you know, to the other side of the street, you know.
Yeah.
So, no, I want to do what I want to do, and I want to do the animated series for Infinity. And it was like, what?
Well, if you want to, I mean, fair enough.
But apart from these miracles that happens, Corvus Belli here in Spain is the same people since the beginning. It's the same people. And this is different from other companies. I mean, other companies change, CEOs change, people, artists go over there, and faces change, and it's the corporation and it's the brand, but it's different people every 2 years or 3 years. Now here is the same people.
Yeah.
And it's the creators. They are still there doing their own, their constant same thing. We try to improve, we try to adapt.
Yeah.
Also, the market changes, or a pandemic happens, stuff like that, but it's the same people.
Yeah. So we're not suddenly going to see Corvus Belli turning into this large investor-led organism.
I can see that happening in the future, where the founders of the company are old and sell, you know, but probably after the TV series and after the video games, when the value of the company is like top high, and they're having grandchildren, and it's like, okay, we sell now. Sell.
Yeah.
oh, Corvus Belli, super corporation, now with CEOs and stuff. Okay, yeah.
Probably called
But,
Panoceania PLC
but
or
when the
something.
worth value of the company is like things like that.
So
I'm
we're
just,
working towards their retirement right now. That's
I'm
what we're
just an
doing.
employee, but I will just cry of happiness when that happens because we rise this together from the bottom of the bottom. Really, I mean, this is not Madrid or Barcelona. This is Cangas de Morrazo. This is far away from every kind of spotlight or center of anything.
Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing it. As long as the prices don't go up when the corporations take over, because we don't want the GW model here. Thank you.
Also expect like super opportunity boxes happening, like okay, the first episode is out and there's these assassins that are super cool. Of course, Corvus really coming with the of the guys in the same week.
I'd expect nothing less, and we will buy it.
We will. There's a message on the internal chat. If we do not turn this into money, we are idiots.
Fair enough, and like I say, we're happy to give it to you. I would imagine, especially if it's around a TV show, because I'm a sucker if it's on TV. That's a real problem. So, but okay, I want to talk about something that actually happened today quickly, and then we're gonna move to some chats from other people on the internet, sanitized chats from other people on the internet. So, which is necessary. It is necessary. So, today we've had the announcement or the artwork of Achilles looking a little different.
Yeah, and if you check YouTube right now, I think the video is out. There's the info bit about Combined Army in M5, communicating which units are going to be now the available units for generic Combined Army. So that's the vanilla Combined Army right now.
Yep.
Okay, that doesn't have access to everything, has access to plenty of things, but not everything.
Mm-hmm.
Also, vanilla Combined Army is allowed to make 2 Fireteam duos and 1 Harris. That will be very meaningful.
Okay.
And apart from the usual Onyx units and Morat units and Sasbasti units, there's Team Achilles. And Team Achilles is composed by Pandora, which is the true evil person that has seduced Achilles.
The temptress.
Yeah. Achilles himself, the man, the legend. Also Drakios, the dragon of Team Achilles, and Tusher, the shooter of Team Achilles. So those Homerids have switched sides from Aleph to the Combined Army. And also Patroclus, I don't know if finally the Combined Army, the Evolved Intelligence will bring him back from death or something. Because Patroclus not being resurrected by Aleph is one of the main things that frustrated Achilles so much.
Yeah.
And Pandora sees the opportunity there, like, okay, now is the moment.
Now is the time.
Mm.
So you've co-dalied all of them, is what you've done.
Yeah. Achilles is evil now. It's evil. In fact, he's not. The fluff will extend pages and pages of duality around it. But right now, I say Achilles is evil. Evil Achilles, dark Achilles.
Carlos, the only people that are evil inside of Infinity is Pano. We know this. Everyone else are the good guys. It's absolutely fine.
And Yuching is exquisite. The way Yuching is written is exquisite. Is for you have to be an adult to understand the nuances of how well written is Yuching.
You have to be a connoisseur. It is absolutely true. It's not for the mere gamer. This is for the connoisseur of wargaming.
Like fancy glass of wine. Oh my God.
As an Imperial Army player, then Invincible Army player, absolutely. I approve this message. Right. I can hear, even from here, even this is going to go out on Friday and it's Monday now, I can hear all the tears of the Aleph Steel Phalanx players.
By the way, in the video that has just come out, it's confirmed that Combined Army keeps its 3 sectorials, Onyx, Morats, and Sasbasti, still in M5.
Okay.
We're going to publish more of those videos, faction by faction, in the following days, mostly with happy news or a huge relief for most of the factions, really.
Outstanding. Okay. Well, by this point, I'm sure more of us have got even more happy news and more reasons to celebrate. But anyone crying, do it in the comments of that video, not this one. We don't want to hear. Anyway, right. So, being the brave soul that I am, I put on my dragon taming costume and went into the internet and asked the world if they had questions for you. So, thank you to the channel patrons and members, and to Reddit, and actually my local Dutch community. I threw that red meat into a WhatsApp group, and that was intense. So, of the over 100 questions that I got, I've thrown out all the ones which are, does this profile get this? Those had to go, unfortunately. We'll find that one out when Army drops. But these are the condensed ones. How are you guys going to balance factions now that generic has fire teams, and will that mean more restricted units? So yes, we know there's more restricted units. Is that the only way that it's going to happen, or?
Well, sectorials still will have access to Fireteam cores and probably more Harris. Sectorials will still have, their usual advantages. But now I see the possibilities of generic vanilla armies opening a lot and having now a lot of game are there.
Okay.
If the flexibility of Fireteams of the sectorials will still be very meaningful, and wildcards and stuff like that. That is still happening. So the Fireteams options for generic still will be limited and restricted. But creativity is something marvelous that people have. I still can think like I can see many people, many figures in a generic army right now reacting with increased burst. So yeah, there are ways of exploiting these decisions by Corvus Belli.
Of course. If you give us any new toys, we're going to break it in 5 minutes. That's what the community's for.
Do it.
Our whole thing. We were asked whether Fireteams are going to become part of the core of N5. They are. So we know the benefits.
Yeah, please continue.
Hey, so does that have? You've mentioned generic. We've talked about generic. Are the generic lists in that book?
Yes. At the end of every faction chapter, there's the generic army list. This is the one for Pano, the big one, Pano. This one over here is Kestrel, for example. So
that was instantly the most freeze-framed moment of this video. Just there.
You'll hurt yourself trying to read this. Come on, just wait.
Have you met Infinity players? Just wait.
We just need one guy to get blind and type it down, and that's it.
Oh, absolutely. And they'll get half of them wrong as well. It'll be, this is definitely the...
I'll just wait for the video that will happen in a few days.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when will Army be updated, and which armies are coming first?
We'll have a date for that, an official date. It's going to happen in November, mid-November, around that date.
Okay, cool. Is NA2 still a thing in N5?
Still, yes, luckily. I was thinking we were going to wipe them all out. Also, consider the idea of certain mercenary companies merging into just one, because the fluff allows that to do so, and the amount of figures and units can allow that to happen, So, yeah, certain things will happen. Okay. In my opinion, once GSA is out of the NA2 label, you can wipe them all out. But still there.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, sure. Like you, the only one we care about is GSA. But there are other people, misguided individuals.
Spiral Corps, maybe, but...
Oof. Hey.
Spiral Corps is not making it. Move forward.
Having a wife in the other room who plays Spiral Core.
Yeah,
I'm on the sofa tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go with the Toha question. Are Toha still making it in M5? Yes.
Oh.
The Toha stay in M5. Toha stays. Toha.
Wow.
With the symbol, with the 3 lines. Spiral Corps? No, not making it.
So we're taking Spiral Corps to the garden and shooting it, but we're keeping Toha.
Yep.
You heard it here first, people.
That's
or
it.
You may have heard it a couple of days ago if they released the video before this, but anyway. Okay, good. Well, at least I'm not on the sofa, so I do appreciate that clarification. Awesome. Okay, we talked about profiles earlier. Some are being reworked, some are not, because we were asked, are all profiles being reworked? Some are, some aren't.
Yeah, everything is being translated, everything is being recalculated, but certain profiles are taking, more consideration and more thought on them than others. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And of course, the new ones are new and they are totally ground zero and carrying the new skills, carrying the new stuff.
Exciting. And new skills. When we hear about any changes to sectorials, so there's going to be a video on every faction over the coming couple of weeks, is that fair?
Yeah, just to communicate, just to show the generic army list and the which sectorials do remain in the new edition.
Yeah.
Pano, being the one that had more sectorials, is also the faction that is going to suffer the most.
So I'm guessing with, if you're taking my boys away from me as somebody who spent many years playing Acconcimento, you may not get a Christmas card.
Let's say that we consider 3 sectorials to be the optimal number for every faction.
And we're just getting Kestrel.
And Pano has 6.
6.
Come on, too many.
Okay, I shall look forward to that. Not remotely. Anyway, but so hang on. If a sectorial goes, does that mean that every unit inside that sectorial is deleted?
No, because I seen many of them still in generic.
Right.
So sometimes they survive in generic.
So they're not going to get moved. So like Kestrel won't contain shock army units.
No.
Well,
the Tikbalang is, but the Tikbalang for us now is a Kestrel unit. It's yellow. Yeah.
It's yellow. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Oh, my boys, they should be missed. So are we looking at any big changes coming up for Army? Is it getting any new features or any other options or any big...
You mean the Army list builder?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be updated. Has to include plenty of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the profiles, also the weapon chart has to change. That's a lot of data to input there.
Yeah.
And, since the Fireteams changes, but the way the army handles the Fireteams is pretty efficient now. So just have to update those charts.
Right.
There will be new skills, and there will be, no cover, flying, drone, stuff like that. But pretty much the same. Not a new interface, a new huge change to that.
Okay. Same beast, different data, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. Because are we getting much in the way of new weaponry within N5, or is it?
Yeah, there's a new weapon, for example, that I was just checking, a Thunderbolt, which is like a burst 2 weapon that has a similar range to the NCMG, but it's just burst 2, normal ammunition. The good thing is that it doesn't cost any SWC, and it's cheap in points.
Right.
That's a Thunderbolt. There will be more
weapons. Yeah. So a damage 15, good range burst 2. Okay.
No, there's no longer damage 15.
Oh, of course.
Possibility of survival. This one is 6, so it's like a 14. The Thunderbolt.
Like a Spitfire. Okay. I'm here for it. We'll try it, depending on what it comes on.
The G Samurai Hanryodan from the Shinden Butai has it.
Oh.
The G Samurai is a cheap samurai, has options with light shotgun and stuff like that, and suddenly has, just for a few more points, the Thunderbolt. So suddenly has long range weapon, no SWC, still carrying his swords, useful,
Okay, that sounds cool. And that's in the Sand Trap box, or is that?
Sand Trap, yes.
Nice.
In fact, matches the 150 point limit that I, point for a demo game. So you can still have the Samurai with the Thunderbolt in a 150 point game.
And the Thunderbolt's not like limited use, it's...
No. I was looking for that label, like this is just like a Panzerfaust. No, it's constant. Yeah.
It's just violence.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal.
Like marksman rifle and stuff like that. Like that makes the kids useful.
Been needing a few of those then. Okay, good stuff. The next question, actually, I get where this person's coming from, but I think I know the answer. They were saying, are there any plans to release a PDF of all the profiles for players who don't want to use the app? Because the argument is if they want to play offline or they don't want to be using their phone.
The priority right now regarding a PDF file with profiles is going to happen with the M4 profiles, like releasing a PDF file with the M4 profiles. So all those discontinued armies that will be lost like tears in the rain still will be there as a paper form, so people can download them and play them, enjoy them. But they wouldn't have the joy of finding skills like no cover.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't happen in M4. Yeah.
Okay. So plus 10 points for the Blade Runner reference, but okay, so N4 will still be playable via these PDFs if you don't want to make the jump to N5 or you want to play an army that was Legacy, effectively. That's good. That's big news.
Yeah, you mentioned their kind of Magic the Gathering reference, but in Corvus Belli there are many Magic the Gathering jigs, and sometimes we do consider Infinity like a card game, okay? Because we have so many profiles. So we sell miniatures, but sometimes it's that kind of approach, like, can we have everything in a generic vanilla army? You will have no control over there because you will have modern and legacy cards inside,
Yeah.
So sometimes we apply kind of that philosophy. It's necessary.
Yeah, but I think it's really good that you are going to make those old profiles available for, even though the armies won't be supported going forward, players will still have the option to pick those up. Is that only going to be for the sectorials which are cancelled, or is that going to be as like a snapshot of N4? Is that going to be all of them?
I think it's going to be easier to make it with everything than just select the things that goes away.
Fantastic. That's really good. That is nice. Awesome. I have one more question actually, which I'm gonna shout out specifically for the question that it is. Smoking Arcana from Reddit would like to know why you are such a glorious human being.
Takes a lot of work, wake up in the morning, do my exercises, make breakfast for all my family, like it's not easy.
No.
And I do not recommend to follow my path of glorious golden S.
There you go.
I work. I have the best work and the best job in the world.
Yeah.
So I just irradiate positivity because they pay me to color and draw soldiers, and then they make animated TV shows with them. So every single day I'm just like coming to work, like in my car, like ha 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 ha.
Career goals.
My head off the window, ha ha ha, laughing like a maniac. Where everybody goes to their miserable Spanish job here,
They say if you can do a job that you love, you never work a day in your life, and
yeah, that's true. For me, that's true.
Yeah.
It's not work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I really consider investing my own money in just making a thing or two for Infinity. It's like, can we really ask for another piece of artwork to that guy who is that awesome? It will be so cool to have an artwork that matches in this page of the book with this story next to it.
Dangerous territory.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have from the community and from me too. So, yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
It's been bombshell after bombshell. It has to be said. Much as I'm going to put this out into the wild, I may just leave YouTube alone for the whole week afterwards and just let the dust settle. And
I was sipping my mouth. There's so much stuff to tell, but I'm saving contents for the theme week. It's like that. So
yeah, so we have another themed week coming up with on tabletop.
Next week I'm flying to I'm going to Cork and Northern Ireland. Killian will be there, and we will make another one of those weeks. And there's plenty of contents because it's M5 and it's Sandtrap and it's the sectorial list and the new Fireteam rules and more rules and then a demo game and showing all the concept artwork and showing highlights of what's coming with this book. So yeah, pretty complete week.
Those will drop.
We will cut it into pieces and try to have 2 videos every day, so everybody is like excited, constantly waiting for the next one.
The hype train.
So, yeah, hype train. Yeah.
And that's going to drop October, November.
Mid October. Yeah.
Okay, cool stuff. Good stuff. And then we can pre-order Sandtrap.
Yeah, Operation Sandtrap and the M5 book and the bundle of both of them, because you still haven't seen the Yamabushi, which is the kind of wandering warrior that works both Kestrel and GSA that comes inside Operation Sandtrap, and you haven't still seen the special figure that you will get if you get both Sandtrap and the book. That is extraordinary miniature that was made like at the beginning of this year, but we saw it, look at it, and it was so awesome that we save it for later and make a new one for that box and save that one for the pre-order of M5 because we thought it was extraordinary and that is an anime reference that everybody will get. Just wait a few days and you will see it because it's pretty awesome and touches the nerve, and it's like something powerful, So yeah, we made it. It was going for one of the reinforcement boxes.
Okay.
And we saw it, and we said, "This is too awesome." So kick it.
So which faction is this one for? Can you say that?
No. No, because I don't want to spoil the surprise.
I'm fine with it being spoiled. That's no problems from my perspective. No.
Speculate in the comments below. Come on.
Yes. All the wild speculation of all the reinforcements boxes released. Which one could it possibly be? Okay, cool. Good stuff. Okay, well, thank you so much. And yeah, that was absolutely amazing. Guys, if there are any questions that you missed, put them down below and put wild speculation below about what the changes to Fireteams could possibly be. Steel Phalanx players, vent your spleen about the loss of your boys. By all means, we're always up for that. I've been on the receiving end of them enough.
I truly think that they have lost more with Pandora than with Achilles. I think that Achilles was, okay, the Achilles army list. I'm going with Achilles, therefore all my army list goes with Achilles, following him. But Pandora was a much more flexible and useful tool that was finding her own spot in many different army lists, in my opinion. I think that the real loss for the competitive player is Pandora, not Achilles. That's my 2 cents.
Achilles is Brad Pitt. That's what you took away from them. That's what you stole in that moment. And then you gave it to Combined.
Well, you can use the figure. You can still use the figure. Just playing Combined now. The fluff says that Achilles is being used like the poster boy for Combined Army in order to make humanity trust in the Combined Army. And at the same time, Achilles is telling humanity that he will make sure Combined Army behaves, And they are bringing, as a token of goodwill, the Combined Army is giving, medicines to humanity that heals all kind of sickness and stuff like that. So Achilles is, the Combined Army is trying to gain humanity's trust in this new era of having a seat in the O12 Senate. So it's a new era, and Achilles is there just to show humanity that the Combined Army is good, and we will be much better if we are ruled by the evolved intelligence.
As an LF player, I remain dubious, but we shall see. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think of, and any questions and thoughts and speculation about the Fireteams. Thanks as ever to Patreons and channel members, and Joe Rogers, who's big channel member, has been for ages. And Carlos, once again, thank you so much for spending the time. It was really, really great to chat to you and meet you and be teased within an inch of my existence about what's coming next. Thank you so much. Should wildly speculate too. But for now, please share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for the channel, and comments, as I say, and I will see you all again soon.